All right, open browser. All right. I like cross-site scripting. It's like my go-to. It's like one of the vulnerabilities I'm very comfortable with. So that's why I chose this one, in case you're wondering. So WebGoat, if you install it, it'll go through the same information we went about. It'll say like, oh, you know, there's like a bunch of stuff we're going to learn about reflected XSS, dumb XSS. It'll walk you through what is a cross-site scripting, why it has significance, like examples, and like some of the development tools. So this in this like first exercise is basically saying, open the development tools, which is right-click inspect on Chrome and Firefox, but others I think is just they're called DevTools. And then just to say, open the console, and the console is basically just like raw JavaScript. This is like you're in the JavaScript brain of the browser right now. So anything you do over here will show. Right? I click alert, pop up. You can do console log is basically the print line or print hello world or whatever. You know, that's the first example. Every
we have to spell it differently.
Oh yeah, good call. All right, let's try it. See, and it prints it. This is like a print command. So alert is very visual. We use alert because you see it, it executes like, you know, it's in front of your face. So over here is just like saying, okay, try to get the cookie, which is like the #1 thing you go after. And if you copy this and just like say alert cookie, it'll show you the cookie. In the development, I think you can see this. There's a cookies tab. I'm not sure. Sources, elements. Wait, sources.
I think it's a little bit further over to the right.
Application, maybe. There we go. So this shows you all the stuff that you have, all that cache storage and cookies that you have. And you see the cookie over here. You can actually change it, I think. Edit value, and you can change it. So if you see somebody's cookie, you come plug it in here, you become that person. And that's why cookies are very important. You have databases, you have the local storage and the session storage that we've spoken about. Any key value, you know, put in there. So this is like everything there in the application. Network will show you every single page you visited. Basically, it's a burp inside the browser. So if I do reload, you'll see the network reload and do everything. It also tells you what everything took, how much time, what every file is. You can even click it, and it'll show you the actual source code. It does exactly what burp does. So burp does the same thing. Still with me so far? So it says, okay, run this. Let's solve it just to show you if we grab this. Oh, it's saying open a second tab and use the same URL you're on. Okay, so second tab, click this. All right, and then it's saying, then on the second tab, open developer tools, and then same thing, okay. I can't remember if it was the same thing. Oh, sorry, let me do that one more time. 6U, so it's the same one, right? Yeah. So it should be the same one because it's your session token. I just want to make sure. So were they the same? Yes. There you go. It turns green. Congratulations, you finished the exercise. That's why I like WebGoat. Then it goes through different locations. It talks basically about the same stuff we mentioned. Hidden fields, message boards, comments, headers, you know, where to look for it. What can happen if you actually break something with XSS. You can create false requests. You can, you know, redirected, blah, blah, blah. Let me know if you want me to talk more. I mean, you spoke a lot about these, so I'm just blazing through them. Talks about the same thing, stuff we talked about, reflected, stored, and DOM-based. And then goes about in the reflected scenario, because that's what it's going to make us do in the next one. And it says, blah, blah, blah. This is how, you know, you identify cross-site, you make it and you make it happen. All right, it says this is an exercise. This is a reflected cross-site scripting. It's always good practice to validate all input, right? And we spoke about that. And it says it's easier to find vulnerability exercises, use alert or console log. So basically, the easiest way to test for Java for cross-site scripting is, let's try first one. Okay, so this one does not even allow anything other than the numbers. I mean, don't get me wrong, we can circumvent in burp, but typically with WebGoat, when WebGoat does that, it's like giving us a hint not to do it. So we can write in this, we can write in this. All right, let's try this. So this is the most standard payload. This is the de facto cross-site scripting payload. Click purchase, and it says, seems like you tried to compromise our shop. We do our best to prevent it. Ooh, okay. Let's try it somewhere else. Boom, you see that? The alert comes, the cross-site scripting happen. So basically, if someone actually manipulates this, sends that full link with the script alert, they'll be able to compromise. If you want to see it on burp, that's why we have burp. Oh, let me clean it up a little bit. All right, let's see. You see that? This is the alert. So, oh man, I clicked the wrong one. All right. So you see that? This is where the script tag is. So this is, you see, it has a weird encoding. You can go to decoder and say, okay, what is this? Decode as, the percentages are always URL. And you can see it's my payload. It just got URL encoded. That's all there is to it. So basically, if I grab this link and I send it to someone, I can execute an alert. And if I can execute alert in their browser, I can execute anything else. Hopefully. Does that make sense? All right, then it goes to talk about self-XSS or reflected. Oh, self-XSS is what security folks call DOM-based. This is the easier representation of self-XSS because you're doing it yourself. And then it just drills deeper into what the differences are and how you're inflicting it on your own versus clicking a link and how it actually is manipulated in DOM and so on and so forth. So it says identify potential for DOM-based XSS. This is going to be a little difficult. That can be used, found. Give everybody a minute. Can you guys read it or you want me to read it out loud?
Can you possibly zoom in?
I can, yeah. Is this good?
Yeah. No, I can actually see it. I don't have my glasses on.
It's all good. All right. Are you guys done reading?
Yes, I'm poking around in the JS now.
All right, so it's telling us that there's a JavaScript test code somewhere, and it gave us a hint that says there's a WebGoat backbone JavaScript library. So we're looking for a WebGoat JavaScript library. So this means I have to show the JavaScript. All right, let me refresh just to make sure that it loads properly. All right, not jQuery main, no, not jQuery, not jQuery. All right, there we go. This looks like something. Polyglot, is there Goat router as well? All right, let me remove MVC. Sorry, 1 second. All right, this looks much nicer. All right, 597. Let me refresh one more time. Sorry about that. All right, 597. So anything after that? So main, no. New. Code up. Code router. Maybe. No support. All right, let's take a look at Go router. Does it say? I just skimmed the page. Does it? Let me see. All right. Let's see. All right, define jQuery. Blah, blah. All right. Okay. So, okay. So this is what I was looking for. So it's basically over here. It said that this page is routed to webgoats that start MVC hashtag lesson, right? It says this is our case, and this is processed immediately after lesson 9, which is processed by the JavaScript route handler. Being called Go router, I figured it has to be this, or like any of the other routers that I checked of Code app or whatever. This one has routes. And if you look at it, you see something, for me, at least, that stands out, is basically test and the lesson. So this is the one we're at right now, right? And if you can see it, it's this. And then if we look at it, this is with the page number. So this is lesson name, page number. So this is exactly what we're looking at. So this is the one we're at. What it's asking us to do is find the test code. Sometimes test code gets left in production, and oftentimes test code is very simple and lacks security or inequality controls. So we see this thing called test param, which means that this /test would be the path. So what is the route for the test code that stayed in the app during production? All right, so we know it's this, but /test. Does that make sense to everyone? I take the silence as yes. Let's click submit. That looks incorrect. Ooh. All right, let's try it without the start MVC lesson. Okay, let's do the same thing they're doing in bold. Start MVC hashtag lesson. That's how it's written over here. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that was it. So it's basically saying, so this, what this does is saying is, this is test. It takes a parameter, but the parameter is not under control. At least that's what's implying, that if we supply a parameter, it'll execute. Here, let's try this real quick. So we go to test. All right, let's operates. Let's do script alert 1, whatever type. Should have executed. Oh. Okay, sometimes this is, I think I know what's happening. So sometimes websites act weird because they're expecting a URL. Oh, we have one over here. So they're expecting the URL format. And if we give it that / we'll throw the browser off. So I would highly recommend trying encoding and then trying it again. There we go. And they see the /. So it returned it to its original format, but the / was still encoded. So we found a DOM-based cross-site scripting that can also be reflected, which is very cool. All right, next lesson. Try it. Oh, God damn it. Sorry. So, okay, we just tried it. Oh, it's telling us to call this function. So saying there's this function, this was execute, blah, blah, blah. Sure, make sure you could see the console debug. We have the console open to trigger it, but you need to trigger it from via URL we just said. Okay. So if we go over here, we remove the alert 1. We put this thing, we click enter. Oh, and it executes. You guys see it over here on the right side? So this is the response. We take that, we plug it back. That should be it. There we go. That's basically it. Typically, the last session is just like it's like questions. Do you guys want to go through these as well? Sure. Let's make this interactive. Are trusted websites immune to XSS?
There's no such thing as a trusted website.
Thank you. I would say 4. These are a little ambiguous in how they're written because the browser checks the code. All right, I think it's just number 4. We'll see later on. When do XSS attacks occur? Anybody want to take a swing?
Would it be solution 3?
Sure. I think it's all 4. I'm just gonna go with 3 for now because that's 100%. And I'm like it's written a little bit ambiguous, and I just don't wanna, you know, we'll see how it comes out. All right, what are stored cross-site scripting attacks?
It's the first one because it's nasty stuff on the server that you're requesting from, either by a specific route.
Thank you. You guys were listening today. I'll take it. Yes, 100%. Let's go. All right. What's the reflected cross-site scripting? Nobody
I
wants.
do know it's the one that you do to your. Wait, no, never mind. I'm thinking of a different one.
It's number 2. It's reflected when the script is injected. It occurs when the input is sent to the web server as part of the request itself. And then the server actually reflects. It's like a mirror. I send the script, it comes back and executes in the browser. Is JavaScript the only way to perform XSS? No, there's other ways. I don't know if this is what they're going for, but there's other ways for sure. All right, let's see if we got any of these right. Ooh, we got all of them right. Nice. And that's basically it. So that's why I like WebGoat, is because for people that are starting out, WebGoat is like a hand-holding application. It'll like, you know, hold your hand and like tell you all the things. It's just as long as you read the instructions. And it has like all kinds of different mechanisms in there beyond what we spoke about. Again, as a reminder, we spoke about injections, we spoke about cross-site scripting, we spoke about client-side forgery. If you want to try server-side request forgery, I think there's a cool feature like how to try in a couple of ways. This is one of like the hottest new things, so I would highly recommend you give it a try. It's just a little bit different than what you're normally used to, because it's not client server anymore, it's client server server. That's basically it. Any questions?
Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. This has been awesome.
Of course, and please feel free if you have questions, like career advice, so on and so forth. We do take interns in our program, but you have to be proficient to a certain level. Like we don't take zero knowledge or very early on knowledge, because we're a consulting firm, so we're client facing most of the time. So but if you have like an OSWE or an OCP, definitely ping me. If nothing else, I can put you in some contact that will at least attempt to put you through an interview process. And Cisco has generous salaries, which is pretty cool.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pascal. Does anybody have any last minute questions?
Could you say those minimum requirements that you for the internship again?
If you have like an OSCP, if you have all the badges of Pentester Lab, or if you have an OSWE, just have to be clear, OSWE is really hard. Like I put it out there, but it's not an easy thing to do.
Graduate level stuff, yeah.
It is, yes. It's tough. But if you have that, then it shows that, like, you know, I can roll with the best of them. So you immediately have a foot in the door